If it's sitting on a hard drive or sitting on your computer somewhere, or you're not sharing it with the world, you could be the best on the entire planet at whatever you're doing. But, and if you're only in it for selfish or artistic purposes because you enjoy doing it, that's totally fine. But if you want to make it a business, if you want to make it something you're sharing with people, which for me is half the fun of anything I do. I love being social, sharing, my art and other things with people. So for me, it was always a goal to not have things be sitting on my hard drive. So, and I think it's a big block for a lot of projects. A lot of people never get off the ground running, and a lot of artists and a lot of business people and creatives never get off the ground running because they're so scared of just sharing it right out of the gate. They're waiting for it to be perfect, or there's a million justifications to not start. I'm waiting for the right artwork. I don't have a manager. The label doesn't like it. It's not perfect. I'll be better in 6 months. There's a million things.
Yeah.
So if you can be someone who doesn't let those things stop you and just get the ball rolling, build the plane while you fly, you have a massive advantage. Because
how far into your production journey would you say that you got to that place of confidence where you're like, I have the ability to make something that can make me dance. I know I can do this now. Like I can make something and know it's, because obviously when you're starting out, it's a lot harder. I think you want to make, as hard as you try though, it's not working. How long do you think it took for you to get to that?
It depends when you start the starting line. So I got my first DAW. Like I started messing with production when I was like 14 and I'm 31. So it was like 15 years of making shit. It was probably 8 years as a teenager and going into college where I wasn't super serious about it, but I was kind of doing it. All of that was garbage. It's like the worst songs you've ever heard in your fucking life. Calling up songs is generous. It wasn't even music. These were sounds, baby sounds. So they were rough.
Yeah. It's a lottery ticket you get every single day to scratch. And if you keep scratching it, eventually that luck will pay off, right?
I think so. And I think you also get better. It's like there is a skill set to that. You get better at spotting opportunities.
Yes.
Like if you go really hard at one thing for a long time, you don't just get better at doing the thing. You get better at the meta skill of getting good at things.
Yeah.
So what kind of happens is you start noticing where other opportunities exist, where someone who's brand new might not. Like I said, your network gets better. So there's more people around you doing stuff that's more likely to improve your situation, improve their situation, be mutual beneficial. If you're getting really good at something, you're also like learning the skill of discipline and usage of your time. And there's all this surrounding stuff that comes with just giving your all into something like that. So I do think that all that's true. And I can't escape the other side of my mind that also says there is just sheer luck on some things.
Yeah.
And there's
okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Back and Body Hurts podcast. I'm your host today, Yikern, and to my right here is Benny. And then to the far end is Luca. And we have a special guest today, Justin, who also goes by the name Fetish.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How we doing?
So he has one of the all-time listeners for the song, the hit track, Come Check This. And he has 7 billion views on TikTok. So that's it. I'm glad that you have that. And you brought a lot of people from outside of EDM into EDM. And pretty grateful for that. So
love it.
Yeah. Just one quick question I want to know from you. Like, where you from? The States?
Yeah, from LA originally. So I'm born and raised in Southern California. I grew up like a surfer, kind of nerdy raver kid, and fell in love with dance music as a teenager, and kind of never looked back.
Never looked back. Yeah. So, and when bass house is your main genre of music?
Yeah, I'd say most of it is typically bass house. I started producing down tempo stuff and house music, and I just never really got away from things that made me want to dance. That's a core part of my project. I listen to everything in my free time. It's it's music all across the board. Dance, not just dance stuff and electronic stuff, but for what I make, it's almost always house. Yeah,
it's always house. House is a very good genre of music. Do you actually go to normal raves yourself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I haven't been as much this year as I think the recent years. I mean, I typically go to multiple festivals a year, see friends that are playing shows, play my own shows. So I'm pretty familiar with the scene. Yeah. Started at 18 and never stopped. So I've been to a couple.
How do you? I know you shared it on Instagram, but you want to explain your name a little bit?
Fetish?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So I mean, the way when I talk about it, there's kind of two ways that I think about it. There's like the surface level stuff about the name, which is that, you know, it's very house, it's kind of sexy and playful, and I always thought it was kind of weird and cool and memorable. So there's that version of it. And then there's the other version of it, which is that you know, I feel like when you get to know someone, everyone at bottom is a weirdo when you really get to know them. Everyone's got, and if you take out the sexual connotation from the word fetish, which is typically how it used, really how I think of the word is it's just like everyone's got these little things that make them very unique and weird and different, especially when you really get to know them. And I think the world is a more interesting place when people are willing to share that stuff. So for me, the name fetish was always about, you know, getting people to try to look at the thing that makes them weird and lean into it and bring that to the surface.
That's
it.
So
when you were picking your name, did you have other options, like other things in mind that you wanted to pick?
Honestly, no. Once I thought of that name, I mean, I had a list going. I had a bunch of stuff in my head, like, okay, this could be cool. This could be cool. And then when I thought of fetish, I was like, oh, that's
the one.
That's the one. Like, that's weird. It's sticking in my brain. It resigned, you know, it goes along with the message I want to say for the brand.
It's cool how that works too, because like when you think about it, you just and you know, you're like, yeah, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
I'm not
for sure.
It.
It fit what I wanted to say, and it had the other pieces which I thought made it memorable,
had meaning,
and interesting. You know, it also, I could see it turns some people off for sure. Some people hear it, they're like, oh, why would he pick a name so weird or out there? But those aren't my people.
Creates the balance though. Creates also too, like, you know, people like it, people hate you as long as they're paying attention. You know, if they're providing something, they're involved in the art, right?
Yeah,
in some way.
Your sound really matches the name as well.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah. It makes people move, you know.
I hope so. I love that. That's all I want to do is get people dancing.
So when we're talking about making people move, like you had a particular dance move that you convey on stage, right? Do you actually like try to use that as part of your showmanship to teach people how to dance to your music?
No, it's 100% authentic. As long as I've been going to shows, like, you know, you get the hands going, I get the octopus vibes, you know, I have always been like a dancing maniac. It's funny because I trust my ability. It's weird. Like, I trust my ability to dance more than I trust my ears. Like, half the test when I'm doing at home, if I'm making a song, working on something at my track, you know, or at my desk, if I stand up and close my eyes, I can imagine myself at one of my favorite sets or whatever, and I can dance to it, and I'm on beat and I'm on rhythm and it all feels good. That to me is like the for sure test that the song is done.
That's an amazing way to do it. I love that.
It's my biggest gauge. Like, it has nothing to do with the mix or any of this other. It's like for as long as I've been going to shows, I knew that I could dance and I love to do it. So that is the feeling I'm always going back to when I'm writing.
Right.
If I can bring that to people on the dance floor, then I think I'm doing the thing that I want to do. So,
for sure.
You know,
you're making dance music.
We're trying to.
For
sure.
But,
I mean, you have to show them that you're also enjoying the thing because it's contagious, right? To the people dancing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and those were always my favorite sets too. Like the sets over the years where I went and there were performers there. Like the DJ was a performer in some Skrillex or you know, I think I saw like, who was it early? I mean, there were all these people early, but when they're having fun, everyone else is having fun. And so there was an element of performance in that I always really enjoyed. And also, I'm just kind of selfish. I want to enjoy it up there. I want to play songs and dance that I want to. Half the time, I wish someone would play my set so I could go to the front and just dance in the fucking front of the crowd. I would be just as happy being the guy at the front of the stage with someone playing my set. You know, it's for me, it's about being there to dance with everyone. So.
Do you like song requests?
I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. It's I kind of like that people are like, oh, I really want to hear this right now, so I'll play it. It doesn't bother me. And at the same time, typically I show up with a set that's like, I do want to play a lot of my own music. So that's the majority of what I play. But, you know, it doesn't bother me when people want to hear something specific. I think that, you know, different levels of the night, it can get annoying. Someone asks you 10 times to play something, like, come on, like, you know, it can be a bit much, but it is what it is.
I mean, Chainsmokers had the anniversary for one of their songs, and they tried to play 30 times in their set.
That's hilarious. I had no idea.
Really? Which song?
What's that? The dun, 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 dun. I forgot what's the name.
Roses or Closer.
30 times in one set?
Yeah, 30 times in one set. They had a counter. And then, like, you know how the ring girls, when they come in for fight clubs, right? They would come out like that with the numbers of
that's crazy.
How
many times can they do it in an hour? I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny too. Dimension, because he's known for smoking a lot on stage. So in the crowd, they'll be like, oh, cigarette counter. And every time they put one up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I got some quotes from your Instagram, and I just want to kind of ask a little bit about those.
Yeah, hit me.
You need
Fantastic branding, by the way, your Instagram. Like
Thank
you convey like genuine reaction to people and like authentic to yourself.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot to hear.
Yeah.
That's been a learning game for me to try to figure out. I think the first few years I didn't really know how to be or how you were supposed to be. And these days I'm just trying to put whatever I am, whatever the most authentic thing is to me on a given day, if it's surfing stuff, if it's, you know, rave stuff, if it's advice, if it's something useful I heard on a podcast that I want to share, you know, I mean, I'm just trying to be as most me and as authentic as I can.
Yeah,
so if it's
it's
coming
because-
off that way,
yeah.
I hope it is.
Yeah,
a
it's
good
because
sign.
it's relatable, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
you need to put your music out. You never know when that record is going to be the one that takes everything you're doing to the next level. Knowing what you know now, if you were to do it again, marketing your music, your brand, putting your music out there, how would you do it differently today?
I don't think I would do anything differently, to be honest. I think I had the right mindset pretty early on, which was just that, like, I know that my music and anyone making art or making anything, if you're building a business, whatever you're doing, like, if it's sitting on a hard drive or sitting on your computer somewhere, or you're not sharing it with the world, you could be the best on the entire planet at whatever you're doing. But, you know, and if you're only in it for selfish or artistic purposes because you enjoy doing it, that's totally fine. But if you want to make it a business, if you want to make it something you're sharing with people, which for me is half the fun of anything I do, I love being social, sharing, you know, my art and other things with people. So for me, it was always a goal to not have things be sitting on my hard drive. So, and I think it's a big block for a lot of projects. A lot of people never get off the ground running, and a lot of artists and a lot of business people and creatives never get off the ground running because they're so scared of just sharing it right out of the gate. You know, they're waiting for it to be perfect, or there's a million justifications to not start.
Yeah.
You know, I'm waiting for the right artwork. I don't have a manager. The label doesn't like it. It's not perfect. I'll be better in 6 months. I mean, there's a million things.
Yeah.
So if you can be someone who doesn't let those things stop you and just get the ball rolling, build the plane while you fly, you have a massive advantage, because so many people just never come out of the gate because they're too worried about something.
Do you have any quotes that you really love?
From
In general, your life.
I've got a couple quotes. My favorite one is a quote from Gandalf.
Oh,
So
yeah. Lay it on.
yeah, this is the best. So Frodo's all upset that he has to take the ring to Mordor because it's like hard and everything's going wrong. And he goes, "I wish it had never come to me. I wish it had never come to pass," something like that. And Gandalf goes, "So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us."
Yes.
And that, to me, I remember.
I didn't even know that was Gandalf. I've heard that
That's
quote.
awesome.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
Gandalf.
Tolkien.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Tolkien through Gandalf, or Gandalf through Tolkien, and it's. I heard that as a kid, and that just wrecked my shit. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, we all have such limited time. What do we want to do with it?" You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
True.
quote wise, that's probably my favorite quote. I know it's not super music related,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
it's,
but it
you know,
applies to it, right?
applies to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, applies-
That is like existentially ticking in the back of my mind, kind of
Yeah.
at all times.
Do you
know?
find when you're like you were saying about getting stuff off your hard drive, like setting deadlines or any methods like that to really like help that perfectionist mindset? Because it is very common with artists, because you have something, you're like, okay, it could be just a little bit better than when it's better, but then you chase that forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you find deadlines or anything like that like to help?
I have a mental sort of internal deadline.
Okay.
I don't set. I'm not big on like setting schedules or saying this has to be done by this day.
Mhm.
You know, to me that has never really been part of my process. I have sort of the industry standard quote unquote deadline in my head, where it's
Okay.
like I can hear, and this is really a thing in the beginning. It's like when you're really first starting, you're just trying to get things to sound up
Good.
to industry standards,
Yeah.
sound good. Then you get past a point where it's like, okay, the samples I'm using, the tool set I have, the workflow I have is operating at industry standard. If you compare it with other songs or other pieces of art that are out, it's basically operating at that level or close enough.
Right.
So for me, that's sort of a mental like guideline or a mental
Cool.
line in my head where I'm like, okay, here's a place where I know it's operating at least in comparison with other people that are out. What is it about that's missing, or what is it that it, again, my thing is like, my line in the sand is, does this make me dance? Can I feel it? Do I feel like
Nice.
if I close my eyes, I'm at Chami, or I'm at Mala,
Yeah.
or I'm at Skrillex, and I'm doing this at my desk, and if I can be there in that moment
Yeah.
and be like, oh, this would get me fucking going,
And then you know it's good.
basically I put the
Nice.
song out. Basically from that point on,
Crazy.
the song is done.
Yeah.
So I take I write super fast to try to get things done in a few hours, because I think it's easier to get to that place where the song feels that way.
Yeah.
for me. And then there is a bit of a process, there's mixing it down, there's getting it mastered.
Right.
There's a finalization process, but I never let that go more than, I don't know, a week or two. Like usually once it's the hard part is getting the soul of the song in for me. And then once that soul is done in a few hours, if it gives me that, if it's making me dance, it's done.
Nice.
I just call it. And I'm sure there's stuff out. There's trade-offs for everything. I'm sure there's songs that I have out that are not. I think I could listen back to some and be like, oh, that wasn't quite done. And there's probably a trade-off somewhere where some of the songs are not as polished as they could be, not as finished. But the thing that I love about my catalog, and I take a lot more pride, more than any metric I have on any of my music. My favorite metric is that I have 75 songs on Spotify in over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And that to me is the most meaningful one. I want to contribute a ton of music. And if I listen to my catalog, I can always go back to the song and remember the place where I was like, yep, there it is. It gave me that little feeling. So even if they're not done, even if they're not perfect, even if they probably shouldn't be out, that's kind of what I shoot for. So,
I have a follow-up question on that. So if you have the soul into it, it gets you going and things like that. And then you try to put it out, you go through the manager, you go through some of your friends for feedback, and they all say no. If they all say no to that kind of music, what do you do from then on? Do you still put it out to trust your gut? Or do you like try to tweak a little bit? Or
That's a good question. I don't think it's ever happened to me. I've never listened to someone where they were like, don't do this, and then I put it out anyway. Usually what's happened is I get notes, I'll get some feedback, I'll show some friends, I'll show the team, play it around, like, I'll listen to it for like over the next few weeks or something, and there will be adjustments. Someone will say, oh, I like this over this, or I like this over this, and I'll play with it, mess with it a few different ways. Like the soul is done. I'm not changing what the song is at its core, but I'm messing with arrangement decisions or drum replacements or stuff like that. So there are moments when that happens, but I don't think I've ever showed someone something and they were like, this sucks, don't do it.
No.
It's just, and I don't mean not because every song I make is a bang, not in that context. I just mean I don't take, even when people are giving advice on to change this or do this, I always take it with a little bit like, okay, that's one. I'm using that information in a bigger pool of source material in my head.
Right.
And if you have a guiding star, this is why the thing I said before is so important. If you have a North Star of like, does this make me dance? Can I emotionally feel this song right now with my eyes closed? If that is satisfied, really the rest is kind of noise, and it's not that I don't like input. I don't like advice. I do. I take all that in. And there are times when it's helped me to make arrangement decisions. Like I said, there are things that have changed the final product of the song into a better song because I shared it with people. But you got to be careful about that because it's very easy to go down a rabbit hole of like, well, this person likes like this, so I should do that. This person said I should do this. And now you've added 6 months of time and now you've added all this doubt into your own process. And like, I just think it's probably safer to take some of it in and then let it go.
We were talking to the system guys before, Devin and Pretense.
Yeah.
And Earl. Do you ever test music with your audience? So say, for example, I just thought of this real quick.
Yeah.
You can try to make a song with your audience. Like you go on stories. You know how there's like two different settings, like A or B. Like you get your audience to vote, and then you can create a whole song. Like get your audience to pick a whole song, like A or B, and then you just make a whole song with that.
Right.
Just like sort of interactive. Do you test with your audience like that?
I can see why it would be a quote unquote like smart thing to do. I think there's a logic to doing that in today's world when metrics and your audience and all these things matter so much because of socials and all this stuff. I lean the other way, which is that I'm not really making my stuff for them. I'm making it in that moment because it's getting me to dance and I like it and it feels good to my taste.
Yeah.
In the creation process, in the writing process, that's how I see making art. It's a little bit like the Rick Rubin thing of like, you're making it for you, not for them. So I can see why there would be useful things in treating the audience in that sort of process. I've done things like I'll post 5 or 6 IDs that I haven't released yet, but they're all just like sort of demo ideas. And I'll post that on Instagram, be like, which ones do you guys like? And sort of see like which ones, just again, like it's that pool of information I was talking about when you send out for feedback. It's kind of like, I take it in. Like some people are like, oh, this number 3rd one in the carousel, like, oh, everyone really liked that one. I can tell that one's going to hit. And maybe before I even posted it, I had an inkling. I was like, oh, I fucking love that 3rd one. Like, let's see if people dig that the same way I do. So it can be useful. I'm not saying there's no place for that kind of thinking, but when I'm in writing mode, I'm never like, I'm not really like, oh, I can't wait to show the audience this at the stage, but then if they hate it, I'll go and change it to this. Like, I think you're playing with fire if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's coming from a place of like, I want to make stuff that I really fuck with, and hopefully other people will.
Yeah.
How far into your production journey would you say that you got to that place of confidence where you're like, I have the ability to make something that can make me dance. I know I can do this now. Like I can make something and know it's, because obviously when you're starting out, it's a lot harder. I think you want to make, as hard as you try though, it's not working. How long do you think it took for you to get to that?
It depends when you start the starting line. So I got my first DAW. Like I started messing with production when I was like 14 and I'm 31. So it was like 15 years of making shit. It was probably 8 years as a teenager and going into college where I wasn't super serious about it, but I was kind of doing it. All of that was garbage. It's like the worst songs you've ever heard in your fucking life. Calling up songs is generous. It wasn't even music. I mean, these were sounds, baby sounds. So they were rough.
Yeah.
After college, I went to music school and I got a lot more serious about it. And I made one song in college before I went to music school that for some reason, I think all that time and effort and energy had sort of come to fruition in college. And I remember being at college parties because we would DJ, my house would DJ, we'd do that stuff. And we played one of my songs and everyone went fucking crazy. And that was the first time I was like, oh, I can make something people actually want to listen to,
right.
Then once I had that sort of moment, it's almost all my ideas after that were terrible too. It wasn't even like that was a good song. It was just like, I saw that first glimpse of like, oh, maybe I can make something people actually want to dance to that I like, people like. So that was kind of the first moment. It took 8 or 10 years. And then after that, I'd say there was another probably 4 years of producing stuff when...
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Real quick, if you're planning on attending any events overseas, you need to sort out your mobile data before you go. No one wants to be that person hunting for dodgy Wi-Fi just to load their ticket or find their friends at 2 a.m. Use Airalo. It's an app that lets you instantly download eSIMs for basically any country. It's super easy. Pick your destination, buy a plan, and boom, you've got data as soon as you land. It's way cheaper than roaming, and you'll be set for maps, messaging, all the fest photos, no stress. Best part? You can get 15% off with our code BnB Hertz 15. Just head to airalo.com or grab the app and enter the code at checkout.
Producing stuff till I signed my first song. And my first song I ever signed with Chami's label on Confession. That was, when was that? 2019. So there was a big gap before, but it took a while.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question for you going to music school. Like, what are the key lessons that you learned from there that applies to your production that change your game? Because for me, like, for example, I went to college in mathematics. So I didn't really like numbers at that time. Then now, like, thinking back, the only key lessons that I learned from studying mathematics is to learn how to break down the problems into minute small notes and solve my way up to the big problem. So like that is the big lesson to apply in general context in my everyday life. So what was yours in music school?
Detailed problem solving, similar to what you're describing, is valuable across all sorts of dimensions. So if you can learn if you can train your attention and be detail orientated, no matter what you're doing, that's valuable. So I would say that that's something I learned to do there. The biggest one, honestly, for me is that I met a bunch of friends that were all producers, and I had never, when I was doing it as a teenager and really coming up doing it, like I didn't have that group. So any learning I did was just myself exploring and experimenting and YouTube and stuff like that. Once I had a group of friends that was doing it and I was constantly around, I learned so much faster.
Yeah.
So I would say the core message is like, whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to do, get a network of people that want to work with you, that you want to work with, that you can teach things to, that they can teach things to you, because your learning curve just goes like this when you're around other people that are also interested in getting better and doing things. So I just made a great group of friends. They've been friends for 10 years and they're all people who produce. I lived in a house with a bunch of bass music producers and there were house music producers and all these different people. And that, I think I learned more then just from having people around that wanted to grow and do and build than I did in any of the years by myself. Sure. So
definitely. Yeah. You surround yourself with people that are in the same atmosphere, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a group that you hang out with.
Yeah, for sure.
It's never too late. It's never too late or too early to start. Send this to someone who needs to hear this today. Do you have any moments of doubt that you had,
Hmm.
and how did you overcome those?
Good question. This is gonna sound crazy. I never had that really crazy, like super strong, like, oh, I'm gonna be a failure forever if I don't do this. You know, that
Yeah.
wasn't ever part of my doubt. I remember the biggest doubt, I think the closest thing I had to that was thinking like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like the first few years, I kind of gave myself this mental like time limit. It wasn't like you have to stop in 3 years if nothing works, but I definitely had this sense of like, this is gonna be a super competitive thing to do. Very few people make it making something in a creative field or art. And I think that for good reasons, that's changing. A lot of people are moving into more creative places, and that's awesome. But there's a low chance of being able to make it in music, in film, like it's a difficult thing to do. So I think you have to be, on the one hand, be realistic about that. And then you have to be completely delusional and believe in yourself at the same time.
Do you think everyone has a capacity to get there?
Get to where you are now, I guess, in a way.
I think everyone has the capacity to be creative, but it does take, there's a lot of things that have to happen all together for it to work. So, and the one that no one wants to talk about is just sheer luck. You have to get fucking luck.
Yeah.
So you can work. It's that thing where hard work plus luck
Preparation.
equals opportunity, or like, but it's so true. And there are people who work as hard as they can for 10 years. And there are so few opportunities, and they just grind, and nothing really comes of it. That happens.
Mhm.
That's just the nature of the world we're in, and then there's people who have every opportunity in the world, but they were never ready because they didn't do the work.
Yeah.
So and there's all these different combinations. I was incredibly fortunate to have worked my ass off and been loving and doing something for many years, and have some really lucky moments.
Yeah.
And that's
as long as like you show up. So Alex Hormozy says, I don't know if you know Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
If it's a lottery ticket you get every single day to scratch.
Mhm.
And if you keep scratching it, eventually that luck will pay off, right?
I think so. And I think you also get better. It's like there is a skill set to that. You get better at spotting opportunities.
Yes.
Like if you go really hard at one thing for a long time, you don't just get better at doing the thing. You get better at the meta skill of getting good at things.
Yeah.
So what kind of happens is you start noticing where other opportunities exist, where someone who's brand new might not. Like I said, your network gets better. So there's more people around you doing stuff that's more likely to improve your situation, improve their situation, be mutually beneficial. If you're getting really good at something, you're also like learning the skill of discipline and usage of your time. And there's all this surrounding stuff that comes with just giving your all into something like that. So I do think that all that's true. And I can't escape the other side of my mind that also says there is just sheer luck on some things.
Yeah.
And there's we don't want to believe it or hear it, but a lot of the world is chance. And it's, I don't know how much percentage wise in my head, but it's playing a bigger role than a lot of us want to think.
The way how I see luck is a test, and how well are you prepared to tackle that test.
Yeah.
So if the luck comes in, it is the opportunity for you to shine.
Yeah.
And if you are able to pass that test, which you will get the opportunity that comes along with it. So,
I had a lot of no's. I had multiple times in studios with bigger artists, bigger producers, people in big music world, and I was not ready. And I got the doors absolutely closed. It was like, no, this sucks. They heard my song, that this is bad, and I showed it to someone, absolutely not. We don't want this. Label say, there's a million ways that you get told no. So a big part of this too is like not only creating your own luck, your own opportunities, but when you're not ready to meet the moment, or when things don't arise, how do you react to that situation? Because a lot of people take that no, they're like, oh my God, I'm never going to do this again. That rejection sucked. I'm never going to be good at this, or it's going to take me 10 years to fucking get to the place where I can share my music again. If you go down that road, you're cooked. You have to be able to just take a no and be like, totally brush it off and just say on to the next thing.
You also never know, because like, you think you get a no, it's like, oh, that's bad, but you don't actually know that, because you getting a no might lead you to another yes,
100%.
You might be in a place that, and I've experienced this, where you're in an environment where you're getting a no, but in that environment, you meet someone that's going to get you a yes. And then in that case, you need it to get that no. So it's like, you never really know what is an actual opportunity, what is a rejection. It's like everything is, makes sense in retrospect.
You have to take it with humility and not have an ego. The ego is to think that because you got to know, you think that you know what that means for your life.
Exactly.
You think that you know what that outcome is, and you just don't.
You don't.
You never
never
know.
do.
So you got to take the no's I think trying to get to something like balance is always a good thing.
Mhm,
You want to
mhm.
take the highs, and when things are going great, enjoy them, soak them in, be proud of yourself, do
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
things, and always have the thought in the back of your head, this isn't going to last forever. I have my moment in the sun
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this brief window, and I'm grateful for that. And you soak that in. And when things are bad, you do the same thing.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It's a brief moment. There's something to learn from this that I'm not prepared for. I have to improve, or
Mhm.
whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Take all that in, and then release it and
Mhm.
say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something else is coming. You know,
That also kind of solves the rabbit hole problem, because
Mm.
sometimes like when producers or whatnot, when they make music, they come into a wall. They try to fix something that they cannot fix, but they still continue fixing it,
Mm.
right? So how would you learn like what is wrong? How do you identify the problems that you need to fix, right? Because
Mm.
you say in one of your quotes, in one of the interviews that I saw on Instagram, that if you want to get better at making kicks, making bass, you
Mm.
just have to keep doing it every day for like an hour. Be better than yesterday, and then eventually you will find out that you are good at something to tackle a certain problem when you're producing music, right? So I mean, like how you said earlier, you just need to talk to people, identify the problem, and then be better at yourself. Then turn the no's into yes, right?
Yeah.
And take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah, I think, there's a piece of that. You just have to be forgiving on yourself. No one is a professional overnight. And if there's something you really want to get good at, it's just going to be a lot of hours and trial and error and failure
Mm.
before it lands,
Mhm.
And I think you got to give yourself grace, and you got to be gentle on yourself, and you got to be the person who can start again tomorrow when it's not going well. And I think there is this hours. Not a lot of people think about it from a mathematics perspective.
Yeah.
And there is a math to all of this, which
Yeah.
is that like it's going to take you a lot of really bad bass lines. They're going to be terrible
Yeah.
for a long time. And then you're going to make a good one,
Mhm.
And so like it's just it's slow, progress, nothing. And then for me, I've noticed this, like I almost have like a 6-month gap where like I do 6 months, I don't get any better. Everything I make is kind of similar to what I've been making before. And then I don't know what changes. Then there's this weird 2 weeks when everything I make is more nuanced and it's more technical and it sounds bigger, and all the work of that 6 months somehow comes to fruition
Mm.
in that next 2 weeks time. So things tend to happen like that. They happen slowly, and then all at once.
I think sort of when you're breaking down, I think like when you're doing something for so long, you sort of build this pattern of, oh, I'm gonna do it this way, and then when you take that break, you kind of rebuild your systems over again.
Totally.
And that's sort of like how I see where you're.
It's great. No, I totally agree.
Do you learn styles from other genres to incorporate in your own production?
Yeah, I think there's this thing about taste, which is just that like I think taste comes out in subconscious ways. So I've always really liked high energy, kind of out there, crazy artists. Skrillex is like my favorite artist ever. I like System of a Down. I like Eminem. I like, I like things that have always brought a ton of energy and were like core. Like I love Korn. Like I came from like, even before I was really into EDM, it was like metal and harder rock stuff and new metal. And like, so I don't know. I think I don't purposefully go out of my way to listen to stuff to be like, oh, what can I pick out from that genre? Like, is there something there that I could incorporate? Like, it's not like a very conscious process for me. It's more subconscious, where I just like, I know what I like. I hear things that I like, something grabs my attention, and I tend to default to that in my writing process. I'll be scrolling through samples or playing with a synth preset or adding drums or a bass line in. And I just try to be really in that state of flow and very attentive, undistracted when I'm doing that. And that lets me notice the trigger when I hear something, I'm like, that's sick. And there's some moment, there's that little moment of inspiration. It comes from the source, the void, whatever you want to call it. And you just feel or hear something. And I'm like, yep, there's something there to play with. And I just fall down the rabbit hole.
Did you have any when you release Come Check This, did you have a sense of, okay, I'm gonna release this and this, I have something here? Did you ever have that with that song?
No. And it's another really useful thing that I think a lot of producers like should or could hear. It's just that like I am the worst on earth, the worst A&R ever for my own music. I do not know which songs are going to go off which songs are not going to go off. Sometimes I love a song and it gets nothing happens. And sometimes I, don't care all about this one. And then that one had some crazy response, so it just, I just have learned to be more like out of my head about like thinking this is the one save. Because again, it's like you put up so many barriers and expectations.
Yeah.
You'll hold on to this one because you think it's so good. It's got to go to the perfect label. It's got to go to this place.
Yeah.
All of that was Crazy Town, and no one liked it as much as you did at the end of the day when you put it out.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's different when you're Bieber, like when you're Bieber and or you're Skrillex and you write Sorry, and it's like the craziest song. It's so perfect. It's so good. Do they know that that's a hit? Probably. There are probably genius wizards, crazy songwriters, really great producers that maybe hear it. They're like, I'm done. That's it. That's a hit. Print it. That's going to be a number one. Maybe there are. I don't have that.
I wonder that actually about Skrillex, because you said he's like one of your favorite artists.
Yeah.
And he came out at a time where I feel like his kind of music was very fresh, very new.
Totally.
And like I can't even imagine being in his shoes, like having that kind of confidence and no idea how I was going to like. Yeah, and we're going to respond to it.
I think all the greats, not just the greats, but like all the artists that are able to successfully continuously put out material come from that place of like willingness to let go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Without knowing. And then maybe you develop an ear. Like if you asked him now, I don't know what he would say. I don't know if when Skrillex makes a song now, he goes, that is a hit for sure.
I would think so.
Probably.
Yeah. You got that confidence for sure.
Well, confidence, or just things that other people don't know because you're at that level. So I don't know the answer to that. For me, I do not have a good inkling of when the song is going to be that way,
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I feel like, because you do not know what goes behind the scene making Sorry, right? Because as a producer, you keep listening to the end song over and over and over again. You just feel like, oh shit, like I've been hearing this song day and night. Don't even know whether it's going to be a big hit because it kind of sounds the same now in my head.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not fresh to anyone's ear. Nobody has heard it. So like, how do you even like get yourself the confidence and the courage to like put it out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and part of that is speed. Like this is why working fast really makes a big difference. I am fortunate and made it a conscious effort in my writing process to be fast very early on. So, and the reason for that is because of what you just said. I don't want to get bored of the songs. I don't want to be second guessing myself on them. Get the idea, get the soul, get the theme, whatever you want to call it, get the soul of the song or the podcast or the film, whatever it is that you're making, get that into your computer, into Ableton, into the podcast editor, whatever the thing is, get that done fast and early.
Yeah.
If you're going to mess with it, spend some time, do a secondary process to mix whatever the process is for editing. But to me, being quick is a lot about just getting out of your own way. It means you're not going to fight yourself in getting the song out, for me. But
not great advice, I guess.
I hope. Hopefully it's helpful for someone.
Do you recommend Ableton over other softwares for producers?
I'm in Ableton because I think it's just for this reason. I think it's the fastest. Yeah. I started in Logic. It was much slower. Yeah. I mean, I started in GarageBand. That was the first thing I was ever making like beats in and beats, and then Logic, and then Ableton. And Ableton, I can work really fast.
Yes.
So to me, it's too important.
I just switched over actually because I was using FL Studio for about 10 years.
Nice.
And then I got Ableton in the last 2 months or so, and I was like, oh my God, this is like completely different workflow. And it's cool because they obviously do similar things, but the approach to how you make music is so different. And like you said, I do think it's faster. You skip like the nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah.
And it's more so about the whole song. It's definitely I would say better for EDM.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's there's no reason to stick to one. Like anyone can use any tool, and it's possible to be creative with an abundance of tools, but I do think that speed matters to me. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you use music instruments to do your sampling, or you create everything on the fly?
A couple random times I've got this little kalimba that I love using to like, I don't know why, but like making bells and plucks, and like it's so soothing to me. I don't know what it is about it. Like I think because it reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I love this thing. And then like I'll make like little bass lines out of it and then convert that to MIDI so I can write. But that's pretty rare. Most of the time it's samples. Most of the time it's there's a preset that inspires something in me. There's a sample I hear, I'm like, that's sick, and I'll cut it up and rearrange it. But
could you tell us a little bit about the kid on the flight?
Oh, the teenage kid?
Yeah.
It was so random. A kid was watching. He was sitting next to me, and he was watching me work in Ableton. And I could notice it's the thing where you're at the laptop, and like I'm like out of the peripheral of my eye, I'm like watching him watch me do stuff. And eventually he just asked. He asked about showing, I think it was an operator thing. He was watching me do stuff in a synth. And he asked me about it. And I was just like, yeah, I'll show you how to do it. So it was 30-second thing. But the reason I posted about it was because I noticed how weird it was that he asked in the best way. I was so happy that he did.
Yeah.
Because so few people do that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm not blowing smoke on my own ass, but I was the person who liked to ask questions. In my music, when I went to music school and stuff, I always, even if the question was so dumb, like before I knew anything about music, before EQs or compression, I always asked kind of like right off the rip. And I think that is a kind of a superpower to like not be afraid to show people that you don't know something and you want help figuring it out.
Yeah.
I think that's such a leg up if you can be that person. So many people wouldn't ask, and he did.
Yeah.
And kind of pinged me about it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I'll show him, you know. And
It's pretty cool how he knew about like sort of like the software too, and then he decided to ask. I think that's just something like it's a really small, like how many kids you know that
Medals with Ableton.
yeah.
I think it's gotten more popular. I'd say more people now, especially with like clips on social media and stuff, like would recognize music software, even because like big artists would post them using and stuff. So I think it's more popular, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool of him to just be like, show me this, you know?
Yeah, because it kind of plays a role with like now with AI, you can just ask AI how to do a lot of these things, right? And what's the definition of EQ and blah, 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 right? But then just having the guts to ask random people or your teacher, it helps you with your networking as well. It
For
helps you to
sure.
talk, yeah.
In any domain, it's valuable. You just save so much time. Go to people that know what they're talking about, and then don't be afraid to be the person that doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because the longer you stay that person, the longer you don't get better.
Yeah.
If you're the person in the room that knows that all these people have good information or good things that you could learn from, and you're too afraid to learn it, you will stay that person.
Yeah.
But if you just ask once and digest it and take it and use the information, the next day you know it, and you just do that.
And that habit will take you farther because you'll just keep asking for everything and get the farthest.
Yeah, not even asking like, you know, gimme all the tools, just in a way that's like open, curious, interested in what they have to share. I think that's
especially with music too, because like everyone interprets it differently. Like everybody uses compression or EQ differently. People master their tracks differently. Like you can get something from everybody, you know, kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Benny from BnB Hertz here. We just launched our portfolio session series, a night we put together for DJs, producers, and ravers who want to be more involved in the scene. It's not going to be like one of your typical shows. It's going to be an opportunity to connect with me, the other hosts, and other DJs within the community. Network with people who are serious about this culture, and most importantly, help some of the best talent in Toronto grow their portfolio. And who knows, maybe even meet your next rave fam. It's happening on Thursdays at Last Call Cocktail Club, and there's no entry fee. Hope to see you there, and now let's get back to the episode.
Be the dumbest people. Don't be afraid to be the dumbest person in the room. That's the thing, I think.
I love being that person.
Yeah.
I have such a curious mind. I love like podcasts, anything I can listen to, podcasts or people that I can hang out with where I feel like they know so much more than me. This is going to sound weird. Like I used to play a lot of Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I only wanted to play Super Smash Brothers with people that were better than me.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever because you get so much better.
Yeah.
You learn what they do and then you get better. Like that, I always love that, you know?
One funny thing for me is that like playing Super Smash Bros. I don't actually own a Nintendo and I don't play. And when people look at me, it's like, you look like you're good at Super Smash Brothers. And I sit down, I just be the dumbest person. I don't even know what moves I do. And then I just get better because I kind of learn the controls on the fly. So it's like, you know, that, right?
I played so many hours growing up. I mean, so many hours of Super Smash Brothers. And my favorite was always playing against people that I knew would kick my ass.
What was your favorite character?
Depends on the game. I played a lot of Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
I played Snake. Really big fan of Snake.
Metal Gear Solid, yeah.
Fox, Snake, DK. Olimar. Olimar was a secret weapon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like playing Lucas and Mr. Game & Watch.
Oh yeah.
Those are two. Yeah.
Super fun. Yeah.
When did you re-dye your hair to normal and not having the red hair anymore?
Oh, I miss it, dude.
Yeah.
I miss having the pink hair, honestly. But I'm happy I don't do it. The real reason, the true reason is because I got so sick of bleaching it. Like, and I did it for 5 years where I had like bleach on my head or around my head. And I felt like, this can't be healthy. Like there's no way it's healthy to have this much bleach around my eyes and my head. So like eventually I just stopped doing it because I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like it was a healthy thing to do. And it was also like, I don't know. I was ready for a new look. I was ready to get rid of it, but I loved having it. It felt like an anime character.
Yeah.
Which was
Did
amazing.
you feel like the pink hair played a role in bringing your own confidence on stage?
My own.
Is it your
confidence on
Clark
stage.
Kent?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a bit of a character. I'm not. My honest take is that I just liked it. I just thought I felt like an anime character.
Yeah,
I fucking love anime. I felt like an anime character. I had this pink hair. No one else had it. I thought that was kind of cool and funny and different. Kind of like the name Fetish. It was just like, this is interesting. I don't see anyone else doing this. Also, like a couple other people started doing it, and then there were like 4 or 5 other big DJs that had just pink, and I was like, come on, and then I was like a little over it. And by that point, I'd been doing it for a few years. So,
I mean, like, take
I
a
don't
look
know.
at Green Velvet. I mean, the name
For
Green
sure,
Velvet,
he was. I mean, there were people doing it long before I was too. So it wasn't like it was a new thing. I just liked it. Thought it was fun. And then I got to a place where I'm like, I don't think I want all this bleach on my head.
Yeah.
Like it's been a lot of years of bleach all over my head. I know it's probably not a great idea.
Yeah, it's because like I kind of feel like sometimes when you have a change in your personal appearance, you kind of put on like a facade that you are in this as a character that you perform on stage. You have like a different set of confidence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Holy Priest, the guy who wears the cross mask, right?
Yeah.
The reason why he said that is because like he can be a different person on stage,
Mhm.
and when he wants to be a raver, he can be a normal raver, and nobody can just recognize him and ask like
Mhm.
for him to enjoy the
He
show.
can just be there kind of in a
Yeah,
pure
yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's awesome. It's different for everybody. I've heard this from multiple people. DJ Snake has a interview that I think from a long time ago. He was like, I put on the glasses because it was a confidence thing.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of people that I think feel that way. Personally, to me, I always just acted like me on stage. There is a little bit of like, I think there's a personification when you get up there, but I dance on stage. I dance the same way I dance when I'm in the crowd. I was always a maniac in the crowd at raves. I just loved it, So I don't know. It wasn't for me, never really a thing where it's like, now I can go be this other person. I was kind of always being me, but something about it felt less authentic and less healthy to have bleach and pink hair on every single time, So
the maintenance is just too much.
I still act that way. I do the same. It's still me up there. It's just
Yeah.
without the pink, So yeah.
Maybe you can wear a pink hat now.
Yeah. I had a pink robe for a minute. I did like this pink robe was crazy in a couple
Yeah.
shows, which was pretty fun. I just love it. The color pink is still just amazing. I don't know why. It's got to be tied to anime purposes.
It'd be kind of funny if like in the future there's a bunch of people that show up to your shows like wearing pink robes. That would have been crazy.
That'd be awesome. Well, I had a few.
You
where I
know,
did
you should sell merch with pink robes.
Dude, I did pink wigs and it was the funnest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'd had a few shows where like I would come with some and then like I would the promoter would have some, I would come with some, and there'd be just like 50, 100 people with pink wigs. Thought that was amazing. It was so fun for pictures and everyone just wanted to grab one, and the bottle service people put them on. And like,
Do you have your own merch?
I don't think there's any up right now. I did one merch drop a couple years ago when I first started. I made some like hoodies and some cool stuff with designs that I came up with the designer. But right now I don't. Yeah.
Is that coming up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think I'll get around to making some here in a bit. Right now it's my focus is getting shows where I can play shows and making the best possible music as I can.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the core of my focus right now, and trying to be as helpful as I can. Something else I've learned is that like I love teaching. I've done like production sessions and tutor sessions. I taught a high school class. Like I love trying to communicate things that were valuable to me to other people. So I'm trying to do that as much as I can and make the best possible songs and enjoy it,
On that note, do you have anyone that you think your fans and other people should look out for in terms of upcoming artists?
That's a good question. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not listening to a ton of my own, like a lot of dance music right now because I'm spending so much time making it. I'm not super familiar with everyone who's like new coming up that's killing it. I can tell you some of the people that I'm listening to a lot as inspiration right now. There's 2 really. I mean, they're not like new. They've been doing things for a long time, but they're great, which is Taiki New Light, one of my favorite artists, and MPH are 2 artists right now that I think sound new. They sound different. Every song they make is basically awesome. So there's people that I'm listening to when I'm sort of doing that, but I'm not like diving deep right now on like a bunch of like new artists just because I'm making it all the time, So
Do you like collabing with other artists?
I do. Honestly, it depends on the situation because sometimes it can be, like I said, I like to work quickly. I like to, make sure that I'm moving on to the next thing. There's a lot of artists that let weird things like we talked about get in the way. They're worried that something wasn't perfect for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then the thing never comes out.
Yeah.
Or their team says something about like, oh, their schedule's so full for a year and a half, and now it's never going to come out. It's like, okay, and then you just kind of put your hands up and you're like, I guess, I guess it's just going to sit there forever, which is fine. It's not like everything you have to make has to come out. The real answer is the process of collabing. I love being in the room, working with other people, learning from someone else, like I mentioned before,
sharing knowledge,
teaching them something that I knew that they didn't. All of that is, I do it every day. That's all fun. But there's this other side when it goes to the business stuff that's like, can we just get this thing out? There's always something that makes it more complicated than it should be. So I try to be as easy as I can when I'm collabing with other people in terms of actually getting things to the finish line. But the creative part is super fun,
Who's the vocalist for Come Check This?
It's a friend of mine.
Ah.
Yeah, was literally sitting on a couch and she just recorded it on an iPhone. Come check this.
No,
just
that's
like that.
awesome.
Yeah, I have songs. My ex-girlfriend was on a couple songs. I had friends that wanted to do them, so I would sit down on a couch with them and just record voice memos. So voice memos are super powerful. I did a lot of whispers and stuff like that. So they're fun to make.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool because it's like voice memos. My bad.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Voice memos it's like an app on your phone. People think you need all this crazy stuff to start, and then you hear stuff like this. I love it.
Yeah.
You just need a laptop and voice memos, Ableton. You can make a hit immediately.
100%.
Yeah. It's also good that when artists show on Instagram, like crank that in bass, like he will just put up his phone and then just start making things on the fly and then just show it, right? Just to show the step process is very simple. And mastering those step process, that's where you have to do your time, right?
Yeah, and also I think part of what he's good at showing and what a lot of the most valuable lesson from that is that it really is the just starting. That's the important thing. Don't worry about your tools. Don't worry about your team. Don't worry about like in the way that like don't wait for like a manager's not going to save you. Having the right gear that's all expensive and nice studio room isn't going to save you. Isn't the only thing that's going to get you going is to just start doing the thing.
Yeah. And then you'll actually find out what you need because you don't know right away what you need.
For sure. And those things come with time. Then you do need a team. You need support. You need people around you. You need to share what you know with others. You need so it scales up. But especially at first, and even right now, my routine every day is like just sit down and start. Just sit down and make something.
The quote is the best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time to start is today.
Yeah.
Where do you think the bass house scene is right now? Is it a good place, or can it be improved, or it's like
that's a good question.
The next trendsetter?
I don't know what the next thing is. I mean, so much of the cool stuff is UK based right now. It's like UK kind of weird, techie, bassy UK sounding house. I love that stuff. I don't know what it is. My ear loves minimal shit. I love when things are small but overwhelming. Like there's like not that much going on in a song. There's only a couple things, but the things are like
crazy,
super detailed or super heavy hitting. So like I think a lot of when I'm writing and the things I listen for in my taste with artists that I like are typically doing a couple things really right and they just hit in the song. There's only one great vocal, and for me it's always I don't know what it is, my ear goes to the low end every time. What is the bass doing? What's it moving like? What's the groove? What's it feeling like? To me that's like 90% of the song, which is kind of weird and probably would improve my music to take more time focusing on the rest of the song, because there's vocals, there's synths, there's all this nuance and all this stuff, and like my ear is just like, can I feel me dancing to this bass? That's all I care about, so that's how a lot of my stuff is. And it's I think I don't think there's any right or wrong to it, but I think I don't know what's going to be next in terms of like what's big in bass house. I know the songs that I really fuck with when I hear them, but
I mean, like EDM come and go, like they're different phases. Right now we all are in the ADHD phase, right? So everybody wants fast and quick drops. So,
it's super quick. Things are fast right now. Things are, it's also a social media thing. People are making like 3 or 4 places in the song that all basically the same but feel slightly different over a 2-minute window so that they can all get clips that work for socials, and everything is sped up. We were out of 124, 126 and we're into 130, 132. A lot of UK influence. It's faster, it's closer to garagey stuff. So, that's the moment. I think things are cyclic with music. Someone in the next few years is going to make a 122 sicko house song that's so disgusting and dirty and slow, and people are gonna be like, oh, this is sick, and it's gonna rotate back around to everything being calmer and so it just it's things are cyclic with that stuff, and just what's new and cool right now. I don't try to trace trends. Whatever's new and cool and working right now is going to come around to some other thing. So I just try to make what I'm interested in at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
It's always changing so quick too.
So
you know?
fast.
Yeah.
Is there any specific thing you learned out of your track being so viral? Like, is there any specific one thing or a couple of things you learned from that experience?
I mean, I think I learned a lot from that experience. I think having a good team around you is so important for when those moments come up. That's super valuable. I think, again, the A&R point is a big one. Don't be super judgmental or have expectations around your own music for what song is going to do what, because you never know. And just have them out in the world so that you have opportunities for moments like that to occur, because they're not going to happen if no one's listening to it and it's on a hard drive. The only way it happens is if it's out in the world.
Did you celebrate a lot for that? Or was it like, oh,
you know,
we lived it and then now it's on to the next song?
I've been so grateful and happy that it happened. There's been so much for my project that has worked early and in ways that some projects never get to experience. You know, I get to tour internationally. I'm in a new country right now. I've never been to Toronto to come play.
Welcome to Toronto, by the way.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. So like there are things that like have come from those moments that I think I'm so grateful for. And, you know, I wish every project had a chance to experience moments like that where it's like, this is the biggest song on Instagram ever. You know, it's like that feeling is unbelievable. But I do try to come back to that place we talked about before, which is a little like, you know, nothing lasts forever. You take those moments, you're grateful, you're happy that things worked out. I've had these moments of being proud of myself for doing all that work and putting it out in the world. And at the same time, there's so much more I want to do.
Yeah.
There's so many other shows I want to play. There's so many different types of songs I want to make. There's so many, you know, so I'm so happy that it happened. I'm grateful that it happened. I love that I get to talk about it and share information about it with people who are interested and want to know. And at the same time, I'm just making new stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
and all this happened because you put it out from the hard drive.
Yeah, you can't have anything happen if no one's listening.
Yeah,
so you gotta have your music out.
Because I also have another quote, like once wise man told me that if you want to get struck by lightning, you have to be outside the house.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, even the chances is instrumentally small, you just have to do it. You know.
Yeah. And don't worry about it. Like that can't be the goal. The goal can't be this one's going to be viral now.
Yeah.
Like I know it. This one's going to be viral. It was never the goal for me. It was random. It was lucky. It was a song that I knew that I loved and made me feel something. So I put it out, and that the rest was in the universe to decide. It wasn't up to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Because we dictate what comes and what is best for us, right? So,
Yeah.
What are you currently excited about and or working on?
I think I'm really excited about the next batch of music that I'm getting done. I think I had one of those moments recently, like I talked about that 6-month gap. I think I've had one or two of those, probably two, because it's been a year, so that would make sense. So I've had about 2 of those moments in the last year where I feel like I've gotten a lot better. Things improved sonically, musically for me, that I was really, you know, that I think I had 2 of those jumps. So I'm really hyped on the next batch of music I'm making. I'm hyped to be in a new country today, playing a set at a club that I've never seen. So that's going to be super fun.
Nomad, ladies and gentlemen, tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm definitely excited about that. What am I excited for? I'm excited for fall vibes. I'm ready for, I spent a lot of time at the beach this summer, which was awesome. Like I said, I'm like a surfer, SoCal kid. So I was surfing a lot this summer, which was great. And now I'm excited for some fall.
Do you snowboard too?
Some fall energy. I don't. I'm terrible at it.
Oh.
It didn't translate. I don't know why, but I suck. I'm so bad. Excuse me.
At least you tried it though, right?
I tried it.
Yeah.
Didn't go well.
Yeah. I think skiing is easy to pick up, and initially snowboarding is hard to pick up.
Yeah,
I think
I can ski, but barely. It's rough.
Snowboarding's fun though. Snowboarding's fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you're good at it,
for
if you're
sure,
good at it,
100%.
Which
some
I'm
of my
not
friends
either,
are like, that's the best sport.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
are completely hooked. You know, for me it was surfing, but
Yeah.
Do you have a estimated release date for those tracks?
I've got, what's the next song? The next song is in like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, I kind of have a schedule that I've stuck to for a few years now, which is like I put a song out every month or every 3 weeks.
Okay.
Nonstop.
Do you like putting albums out?
You know, I haven't done an album. And it's not that I don't want to. I think it'd be fun to do it. I just haven't had a good enough cohesive reason or vision to do that with yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hard because what happens nowadays, like the way people are digesting music, is that so many of the songs just get skipped, and you get the single, or you get the single and two others that people like, and then you've got 8 songs that like no one really hear.
Yeah,
and I hate that because
Yeah.
I don't put stuff out unless I really like what I made, and if it gives me that feeling of closing my eyes and standing and dancing at my desk. So I would hate to do 8 songs of work and have that feeling to make this cool cohesive idea just to have people be like, fuck that. You know, and it's not like it's only for them. For me, it would be cool just to make it because the album is cool too. But there is a piece of me that's like, I could probably release those and get more people to hopefully fall in love with something that I did.
Yeah.
You know, if I do them as singles. So it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make one eventually, and I've had a couple ideas for concepts where I'm like, that would be a cool way to batch a bunch of music together.
How would you approach making an album compared to a single?
For me, it would be like there'd have to be a central story. Like there would have to be some story or central concept to the album where everything revolved around like, this is the premise, and all these songs are like individual little stories that support a main idea. To me, that's how I would think about it. So
what about an EP?
I've done a few EPs. I think I did one on Chami's label. I did one on Dr. Fresh's label on House Call. I've done one with Insomniac. I've done a couple, and like, again, it's always like I'm trying to find songs that fit well together, that feel like these have like a cohesive home and they go together in a bigger picture. But again, you run into the same thing sometimes, even with EPs. It's like, you know, people hear the single, they hear the first one or two, and then they don't listen to the others.
Yeah.
And it's a little like, I get it. We're all digesting music faster and in a different way now, but I don't put out songs because they're filler songs. That's another way to say it.
Yeah.
I don't have filler tracks where I'm like, I don't give a shit about this one at all. This one didn't make me dance. Let's just put something out. I like only put stuff out when I'm like, this is giving me that feeling, and then it comes out, you know? So yeah.
They all get the same amount of love, you know?
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to.
Yeah.
And I try to be consistent. Like, I've been lucky that I've been able to keep up my, you know, once every 3 weeks or once a month schedule. And I'm not planning on changing that.
And being consistent is key. So yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think you see yourself in like 5 years? And like how it differs from where you are now in your career?
That's a great question. I think my goal is to play bigger and bigger shows for more people, to get them dancing. It's to share more fun at shows and in making music with collaborators, with my team, with friends. It's hopefully working with some of the artists that I really respect and have looked up to for a long time. That's on my list. Honestly, I'm really happy doing what I'm doing right now. If my life looked a lot like it does right now, I'd be a happy person.
Nice.
I'm very grateful, and I get to make music every day. I have a good, consistent schedule and routine that I've, you know, narrowed down over the 7 years since I've been releasing, and I get to do something that few people get to do, which is like be a creative person, help share anything valuable that I might have for new people that are coming up, or for people that have been doing whatever. And if my life was a lot similar to this, I would be happy.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think that's about it for this episode.
Do you have any like thoughts?
Honestly,
Thoughts?
no, that was amazing. But like, I guess last thing I would say is, for someone that wants to be in the position right now, you know, you're flying to a new country, you're playing at these clubs, you're releasing music, you're gonna be on podcasts. What would you say, or like, there's one thing or two things like that a creative person or a young person needs to make those changes to be in the position where you are in now?
I think the first one is one we kind of mentioned before, which is like, lean in to the authenticity.
Yeah.
There's something about your life or who you are or your taste that no one else has.
Right.
Your superpower is the fact that only you see and hear and do things the way you do them. So become self-aware enough to identify those things and then lean in. What is it that you know how to do, or listen to, or make, or create, or think about that no one else can do, and go all the way in on that, because that's how you're going to separate yourself from everyone who's just trying to be versions of each other, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's an authenticity piece that I think is really valuable. And the other one that I think really matters, especially in today's creative spaces, is like, you got to enjoy the ride. You got to be having fun on the way up.
Love the process. Yeah.
It matters so much. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, we get the choice every day to do what we want to do, or have to go to a job. So, you know, some of us are in jobs that want to be creative, that are in jobs we don't have to enjoy. And we're there for 8 hours and that sucks. And like, you gotta be the person who can say like, I want to go after this thing and I'm going to enjoy it on the way up, not just chase the milestones or metrics.
Right.
You know, I just can't wait till I get a viral song. I can't wait till I play Red Rocks. I can't wait till I do this.
Because you'll chase forever. Yeah. Yeah.
It always changes. It's always going to move. So enjoy it on the way up and lean into the things that make you, you know?
Dope.
Yeah.
Very dope.
Thank you guys for having me. This was awesome.
No, it was a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
man. Thanks for coming on.
For sure.
All right. So thanks for tuning in this week's episode. I'm glad you enjoy it. If you want to support us, we are very close to trying to get to 1K subscribers in YouTube. So please share to a fellow raver, like and subscribe. And we have a couple of affiliate links. So one is Jelly IV over here. It's a substance to
The hangover jelly.
hangover jelly. Yeah. So you can consume more alcohol. All right.
And then I love the name of this podcast. Back and Body Hurts.
Yeah.
Is
I
so
was saying
good.
that earlier.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. And then we also have earplugs, ears and sound. So you use our links below in the description. And then if you want to travel outside of the country and you want to have an eSIM, we also have affiliated link with Airalo. So if you purchase anything that's $10 off, $10 and above, you get 15% off with the code that we have in the description. And and that's pretty much it. So stay tuned and see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Sweet.